Hey, what's going on? It's Rich Ward hanging here with my bud Ian in the dungeon here at the Arches next to a heater. We're very warm.
Yeah, I'll go with that. It's very warm. Yeah, it's very cool. So you're here anyway on tour right now with Soil and Beat 77 right now. How's that kind of going for you guys?
It's great, three great bands that taste great together, and we're having a great time and great crowds. All the shows have been sellout capacity, and so we couldn't ask for anything more.
Right. So kind of good time around then, basically.
Yeah, we're all in the Christmas spirit, and so tonight will be only holiday hits only, Jingle Bells and Dashing Through the Snow, the standards.
They're like your best kind of covers then.
Of course, you got to keep it cheerful.
We'll come to that later on anyway, but I was kind of wanting to talk about the support for your album right now. This is about Sin and Bones as well too. Can you give some basic details on that?
Yeah, we worked really hard on this record, and it was the first time that we ever kind of collaborated on tour. We did a lot of touring last year, and it gave us a great opportunity to set up a mobile studio in the back of the tour bus. So during all these dates, we were able to kind of work as a band, as opposed to in the past it's difficult because we all live in different states, and Chris on tour wrestling, and he lives in Florida, and we live in Georgia. And this was cool because even though we were writing separately when we were off tour, there were periods of time when we were actually out on the bus where we could kind of collaborate and work together. So it was a good group effort.
Cool. So like a lot of influence then would kind of come from like on the road kind of things as well too for this album. Right?
Yeah. Well, lyrically, Chris he likes to write during either late night on the tour bus by himself. So the lyrics are all Chris's, but musically and I would say, and melodically, that's where the collaboration came together.
Okay, cool, awesome. So, what was that kind of experience? That kind of experience then of, would that something you prefer then, kind of like recording while you're on tour and whatnot, as opposed to recording an album?
In these day and age, you write and record when you have time. You know what I mean? So if you start making rules and saying, "Well, I only like to do it here," you'll never get anything done. Yeah. If there's any lesson that I've learned in my 20 years of being in the music business is be flexible and be willing to do whatever it takes. And that's really what to any young artist or looking to be in bands, you just kind of have to just take life as it comes at you, because it's not going to come to you, it's going to come at you.
Exactly. So I mean, you've had 13 years roughly about experience on the road anyway, and so you know all about that. But this is kind of like your third album off of like originals as well too. Yep. It's kind of that weird state then of like, it's kind of like the new band but with the 13 years experience kind of thing. Do you think with your third album and you've kind of got the sound defined?
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of it has to do too is that during the early years of Fozzy, we were very much a part-time band. Chris was wrestling. I had my other band, Stuck Mojo. We were all kind of doing things separate. Then we would come together and play a few shows, maybe spend a few weeks together in the studio to make a record, but then we would be apart for months at a time. So it wasn't until all the Remains record in 2005 that we really started to gel and really form this thing. So it has been about between the last 5 to 7 years the band has really started to kind of fine-tune who we are as a band, and that just comes down to chemistry. You can put the best footballers on the field, but it doesn't mean they're going to play well together. It's all about chemistry and bringing that time together as a group. And I feel like we've finally gotten to that spot in our career where it's really started to click.
Well, hey, I mean, like that's especially so. I mean, I remember seeing you Download actually, and you're the opening act on what was quite a miserable enough day as it was. You somehow managed to get everybody jumping. Your energy on stage was amazing. I was so impressed by it. I mean, like, how do you kind of keep that kind of energy up? Like, what's kind of
love for what we do, and then the other thing is just the desire to be the best band on the day, and all musicians will tell you there's a competitive spirit that we all have. Nobody wants to go out there and get crushed by the other bands. You know what I mean? There's even though everybody's very friendly, there's a sense of like pride that comes down with being reviewed in magazines as the best band of the day, and we all want to go for that. And then beyond that, we live in tough economic times, and people spend a lot of money to come to shows, and you want to honor that by giving them everything you can. And there's that pride and integrity that comes down to knowing that your supporters are taking time off from work, traveling long distances, and spending money to support our music. And you want to honor that by giving them everything you got.
Absolutely fantastic answer, actually. But kind of going back to a second there, you're kind of talking about that kind of competition between bands and whatnot. You're having that a wee bit right now then with Soil. So this is kind of like a almost co-headline tour then between you, Fozzy, and Soil by any chance?
Well, the only reason that I would say not as much on this tour is because we're only a third show in. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like, we're still kind of early in the thing, and I'm sure by the end of week one, there'll be competitive betting, and yeah. We're still just trying to get it's the start of anything. It's like the first, when you go on vacation and the first couple of days you're unpacking and trying to just get things sorted and figure out what you're doing. We're still in that kind of, we're on the honeymoon. Yeah.
Well, using the same kind of analogy then, you're on the honeymoon period as well too, so what songs seem to be, creating the mood of the honeymoon then, I guess? Like, what songs are making it right now?
Yeah, we lead off this, we play a lot of stuff from Sin and Bones, the new Fozzy record, and I really feel like, just like you said earlier, I mean, it's taken a while for the band to really fine-tune our sound and kind of come of age, so to speak. And so we're playing a good bit of material off the new record, and we're leading the set off with Spider in My Mouth, which is the first song on the record. So it kind of sets the tone. It's cool.
Well, fantastic as well too. Actually, that's something I was meaning to ask you when I was asked that question. Was you said you're defining your sound? Well, what is your sound then? I mean, it may be obvious if you listen to it, but how would you describe it?
Yeah, metal riffs with kind of a late 70s, early 80s AOR melodic approach. Chris and I both grew up listening to like Queen and Bad Company and Journey and Boston, these kind of really cool, Triumph, the Canadian band, and Rush. Some of these bands that it's kind of cool to mismatch, influences, and they came to us naturally because we love those bands, but we also love Metallica, we also love Pantera, we love Sepultura. We love these heavy bands, so it's kind of cool to be one of these bands that's able to kind of capture the magic of late 70s melodic rock and then mash it with aggressive riffs from the heaviest bands.
Yeah. It's a good mix. You've got melodic and you've got heavy all in one time and combine it together. So
there's not a lot of bands that do that. A lot of the really heavy bands are focused on really heavy, barking vocals, which I dig. But there's a lot of them doing it. So in order for us to kind of find our own little niche, I think finding that little piece of ground to put the flag in and say this is us.
Yeah. They've kind of done that quite well on your third album. I mean, listen to the songs as well too. Enemies, I love that song. I think it's a fantastic song. But kind of speaking about the Enemies, the videos that you've got released as well too, they've kind of got their own interesting vibe with it, especially Sandpaper. Sorry, my mind kind of completely there. Sandpaper's kind of got this 19, Evil or Dead thing kind of about it. What was the kind of theme behind that? Like,
Evil Dead. Yeah. Chris and I are big horror movie fans, and it was Chris's idea because he loves actually the main character, Bruce Campbell's character in the movie is Ash, and Chris's firstborn son's name is Ash. Yeah, so that'll just tell you how much of a fan that Chris is of Evil Dead. So it was the natural tip of the hat homage to Evil Dead. Yeah.
I think the kid will get through high school well enough if he just doesn't mention, oh, by the way, I'm named after that character.
As long as he doesn't saw off his hand and replace it by a shotgun. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think that would go down well in school, to be honest.
It's not gonna. No. Even in the States.
Oh, man. We'll tell you what, that's kind of roughly about 10 minutes though, anyway, man, so I'll kind of wrap it up there. But just kind of two quick questions. What are you doing, since it's Christmas time, what are you doing for Christmas?
For Christmas, I'm just spending time at home. Normally it's travel, family, this, go here, go there. I'm not doing it. This year I'm staying home. Just going to be quiet. I'm going to put in some requests to God for some snow. And, we're going to try to go for big Bing Crosby White Christmas.
Cool. And awesome, just to end it all off, just a message for the fans then, please.
Yes, just thank you so much for the support. And just know that my goal for the future is to set myself on fire on stage to impress you. And but I won't tell you what show that's going to be, so just come out and wait.
And either way, can I be there just to record that? Is that okay?
I'll call you.
Right, thanks.